Salute to you for joining me. I appreciate you here on Rastas Realities, where the real is raw and the truth is the law. Values and the lack thereof. Thanks to you for checking in once again. Let's get to it. Though I was raised in a single-parent household, I didn't turn out so bad, at least compared to most in my ethnic background. The reason for that is that even though my mother technically did the task of child rearing alone, she was not alone. At times I would hear her crying or speaking to what seemed like the air, and though nobody was there, I knew she was speaking to someone or thing that I as a child could not see. After inquiring as to whom she was talking to, she replied,
"I'm talking to God."
And that was that. When I became mature enough to understand spirituality, it all made sense. And I also understood how our ancestors got through slavery, as with all the singing and talking to the air or themselves made for a strong connection to the unseen. It kept all involved sane. It gave strength in a time of weakness and oppression. That strength frightened the massa or overseer as they punished literacy, singing, praying, etc. My mother did not do it alone as thought before, because she had help from my granny, my aunt, my uncle, and her friends from the neighborhood. Those in my ambition to be better and have a far sufficiently fine life molded me into the man that I am today. A man that surpassed his father's accomplishments very early in existence. That work that my mother put in, along with the additional family, friends, and neighbors' help, instilled a value system that I became accustomed to and formed a well-rounded individual. And because of this, I reach and teach as many who want and need the help. Despite the hostility from those who are either hurt by their place of darkness or just plain old full of wickedness. My work gives birth to history unto itself and will continue to be the catalyst for wealth, both monetarily, spiritually, and mentally. Void of values is the very issue and reasoning for the ebony or black discourse. Until the importance of values are reinstated, we, the ebony ethnicity, will continue to be enslaved, not by others, but ourselves. Here's a video that explains in depth and visually shows what I am referring to. Subscribe and share, as this is your channel too. Thank you.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father. One. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down, because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so, you know, it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
Thinking about holding up for no sex, my man. You know, if a girl, you know, she get having a baby, carrying a baby, hey, that's on her. You know, I'm not gonna stop my pleasures because of another woman.
What about birth control? What about condom?
Girls don't like them things. They don't like them things. They'll tell you to take them things off. They figure that you saying that they filthy or they dirty or something.
It's been a startling change in values. 25 years ago, you would not have heard such things said so freely because they were not embraced so widely. The strong family was still the backbone of Black America, and 3 out of 4 children had both parents at home. That is true no longer. Most Black children are now growing up without their fathers. The result is a world turned upside down as children copy what they see and repeat what they learn. LaDawn said she didn't have a father in her home and doesn't think her children need one. She's not unusual. Half the Black families today are headed only by a woman. Clorinda said she could make it on her own as a single parent. She has never been married and is raising her daughter without a man's help. She's not unusual. Today, nearly 60% of all Black children are born out of wedlock. Timothy said his children are not his responsibility. He has left them to be supported by their mothers and welfare. He's not unusual either. For LaDawn and Clorinda and Timothy, and many more like them in cities all over America, the traditional family no longer exists. It has vanished, and something new is taking its place. Single women and the children they're rearing alone are the fastest growing part of the Black population. What becomes of the Black family in a world where the values are being turned upside down?
If the parent is 17 and 18, uneducated, unmotivated, fooling around, wandering around, what's the child going to learn? Who's to teach him? When you learn something, you was taught by your parents. It was reinforced by school and your neighbors, but it was taught by your parents. Well, if the parents don't know anything, how are they going to teach the children? So it's not racism that I'm fighting right now. It's the lack of motivation. You see, I'm not even talking about racism. Maybe later on we'll get back to that.